enough to stick her head inside. "Scarlett Ashford is here for you, Jay." She didn't hear any response, but clearly Jackson Grayson made one as the girl turned around and gestured her forward, opening the door for her. Scarlett stood, and then forgot how to breathe. The man before her, taking up more space than any mortal had any right to, was over 6 feet tall, with muscles filling out his black tee to the point of indecency. He looks like Thor. Her mouth dried as she dragged her fascinated gaze up from his biceps. Don't think about his biceps. She focused on his stubble-darkened jaw instead, but that didn't help. She'd never gone for the unshaven look before, but to hell with that. Stop staring at him. Good advice. A shame she couldn't follow it. The gossip at work hadn't done him justice. He was so right for her purposes, it was unnerving. "I'll leave you to it, then," the girl said. Scarlett had completely forgotten about her. She tried to ignore Jackson's messy black hair, which brushed his collar, and failed. Thor's body, Loki's hair. Could it get any better?
"Yeah, thanks, Ella."
Yes, it could. Even his voice dripped with sin, dark and dangerous with a hint of deadly menace. Darts of pleasure stirred in places she'd almost forgotten she had. How was that even possible? They hadn't even touched, and she was more turned on than she'd been in ages. The click of the shutting door cut through her lustful thoughts. Pull yourself together. She was here on business. Jackson Grayson would never take her seriously if all she could do was drool over him. She slipped on the coolly polite mask she'd perfected in boarding school and stepped toward him. "Scarlett Ashford." His hand enveloped hers. His grip was firm, but the way his fingers brushed the back of hers was oddly intimate. He didn't appear to be in any hurry to break contact.
"Jackson Grayson."
Up close and personal, it was hard to breathe. His face was rugged perfection. Just like his body. She pulled her hand free with as much dignity as she could. Who gets wet just by touching a guy's hand? You do. She wanted to hire him for a specific job, not to share her bed. Are you sure? Jackson folded his arms and leaned his butt against his desk. Although he'd run his own internet search on Scarlett Ashford before their appointment, it hadn't prepared him for the reality. Scarlett Ashford was fucking hot. Her black shirt and matching pants and jacket weren't especially sexy, but she could probably wear a garbage bag and look good enough to eat. "Thank you for seeing me at such short notice." Her voice was like honey, golden and rich.
"My pleasure."
It certainly was. After the shitty week he'd had, just looking at her was enough to lift his mood. Her glossy blonde hair fell in soft waves to below her shoulders. Her skin was flawless, and her blue eyes gave her a strange sense of innocence. An illusion. No one associated with the Ashford media and communications empire was innocent. He pushed himself off the edge of his desk and waited until Scarlett took the chair he offered her before he sat down.
"You told Ella we'd been recommended to you. By who?"
"I'd prefer not to say." It had to have been a previous client, and no client would recommend a service they'd been unhappy with, so why did she feel the need to keep her source confidential? He didn't need another client, especially one who refused to answer the most basic questions. If she was being difficult now, the chances were she'd be a nightmare. He should tell her he wasn't interested. Except he couldn't. "You're going to regret this." She brushed non-existent dust from her thigh before taking a deep breath that caused her breasts to strain against the silky material of her shirt. It took him a couple of seconds to drag his gaze back to her face. She's a potential client. He didn't hit on clients, no matter how hot they were. "Mr. Grayson."
"Call me Jackson."
The tip of her tongue slid along her lips. He couldn't